championships for a long time in his hometown, and hopefully he can enjoy cheering on the rest of the Norwegian team. Right, we've seen the women's 100. Now time for the men's. Of course, semi-finals to come later on, so 2 rounds in one day. Nothing too unusual, if you can make it through, of course. Well, we saw that the times in the women's 100s were quite a few tenths off PBs. But that 11.5, 11.7 range was good enough to progress to those semi-finals if you weren't in the top 3. And as the athletes are called their marks here, I can tell you that the qualifying conditions are exactly the same. First 3 in each heat, and then the next 4 by time. So in this one, Vasily Klimov of Austria, Mark Escandel of Spain, Filip Fredovic, Slovakia, Gabriel Mayer, Portugal, Junior Tarioli of Italy, Emilio Rudolph of Germany, and Jena Gumela of Slovenia. So expecting good things of Gabriel Mayer in the green of Portugal there, but a bit sluggish from the start. Has to really work here. It's Rudolph going well. The Italian coming through late there, Tarioli. 10.49. And the two of them very pleased to progress through to the semi-finals later on. So going down to a photo finish. Yes, I did get the feeling that the dip was a little bit late there from Tarioli. So Emilio Gonzalez Rudolph just ahead, given the same time there in terms of hundreds. Let's have another look then. So Rudolph is really working hard here, driving those arms, as is the Slovenian on his outside. And almost a blanket finish there. Mayer going to be just outside the top 3 in 4th place, 10.58. You get the feeling that may well be enough to make it through. You might call it that. So much in the space of a few seconds. We quite often see it in slow motion, and you sometimes are more appreciative of the higher heights, but also don't quite realize the speed in which it's happening in real time. Well, Jeff Arias is one of the athletes who previously been selected for the European Under-20s well below the age of 20, and I think that experience has helped him coming up here. And we're looking now at Sondre Witzel, one of the local athletes here. Been near his best to progress. I think Insikak Ekpo, well, we know about the Dutch 4x4 strength, but over the last few years, they've had a very consistent quartet in the men's 4x1. And he also ran, I saw in Geneva. And yeah, it's Elvis Afrifa, Tamer Burnett, Xavi Moa-Joc and Insikak Ekpo who got the silver medal at the European Championships last year in Rome. They seem to be keeping that quartet together. Ekpo, as a result, would have thought that he'd be a good contender here at this championship. Arias, 9.98 at best. 10.25 this year. So Arias from 3, Ekpo from 6. Let's see who can challenge them here, but as expected, the Dutchman from the Frenchman, 10.30 on the clock, into a minus 1.8 win now, appearing to be stronger. So Ekpo, a really good opportunity for him individually now. He also has a European Under-20 relay medal, another silver, but yeah, looking to add to that in the 100 meters by himself, and then maybe combining the relay for a strong Dutch quartet. But as we're talking about with Laura de Witte, the Dutch diversifying. It's not just a few events in where they're strong. Everyone wants to be part of their athletics team. Have another look here at Ekbo, really driving hard, eyes down, now up at the track, battling with Arias, who initially it looked like would be the victor, but he's overtaken here in the closing stages. And we've seen fastest time so far by Inzikak Ekbo of the Netherlands, 10:31. He kind of pushed to the line to win the heat ahead of Jeff Arias. That's one of the reasons why it was much faster than the first heat. So, leader this year is Heiko Guzman of Germany. So, 10:15 in Regensburg. Leader in terms of the top eligible athlete here. Beppe Grillo, one of two Maltese athletes we saw there. And then Nikola Karamanolov of Bulgaria. Again, a fairly small team for them here, but do have some great opportunities with Plamena Mitkova, Bozdar Saraboykov in the jumps. Karamanolov, who's won back-to-back national indoor 60-meter titles, 10:32 at best this year. So Emilio Gonzalez, Rudolph, a German that's already through. Guzman faster on times at 10:15, so you'd be expecting him to follow suit here. Peel Bernardi, Guzman on a logboat, Grillo, Huttunen, Karamanolov. Third heat of the men's 100 meters. So another, that's even early on. Huttunen actually going well for Finland alongside Karamanolov near side. Having a look here across the line, you can see Bernardi of Italy ahead of Guzman. So potentially a little bit of an upset there. 10:43 across that line, and just maybe we're seeing another athlete who really wanted to push and start this heat off well, because between them on paper, 10.15 Guzman's PB and 10.38 for Bernardi this year. He's only 500ths off that. Really nice to see that. We've had so many great moments for the Germans. They can't begrudge the Italian winning the heat. German athletes setting themselves up really nicely across track and field over the last couple of hours. Super impressive, particularly in the discus and shot put. I said we're giving a shout out to every nation. Let's have a look at Beppe Grillo as well, because he and Raquel Pace, the two athletes from Malta, have had some good results in recent years. Often see athletes doubling up. Unfortunately, won't progress. It doesn't look like they're Beppe Grillo. But yeah, okay, back to the front there. So we continue with these men 100-meter heats. And Abel Jordan was someone who audaciously entered both the sprint hurdles and indeed the flat of the European indoors. And he remains very strong over the two events. Isaac Hughes, we've seen him medal in the past European Age Group Championships. Shonak Bobo, part of an Irish quartet. And they broke the national record at the European Team Championships. And just before that, the weekend before, in Geneva, they break a record that had stood for 25 years since the Sydney Olympic Games. So full lineup with Plisto Iliev of Bulgaria on the inside. Bulgarian 100-meter champion Alexander Sosnovenko of Ukraine, Shonak Bobo, the Irishman I mentioned, Abel Jordan, the versatile athlete who also can hurdle well, Isaac Hughes, under 20 silver 2 years ago, Julian Popotnik of Slovenia, and Jensen of Denmark. Appears to be a DNS in this. So Abel Jordan coming through strongly, and Bobo also finishing well, but it's very close for the top three there. 10:43 on the clock. Again, the wind against the athletes, but Jordan starting off his competition strongly. He's also entered for the 4x100 meter relay along with the men's sprint hurdles. And, see that he's ranked 5th in those 1:10 hurdles, incidentally. And that's kind of similar in the 100 meters as well, in which he is 5th, but maybe closer on personal best to the likes of Guzman, who we've already seen, Gabriel Meyer, and Sikak Ekpo, and Anish Churin-Propotnik does have a personal best of 10:23 this year, maybe a little further back than you would have expected. Isaac Hughes, look at the determination on his face in a very close heat. So 10:43 for Jordan, decent margin of victory ahead of Iliev of Bulgaria. So quite often seeing this on the entry list, by the way, and I'm sure Eleanor Ellard, joining us soon, will continue to talk about this. The fact that we've got 2 teammates in a lot of... Go with this lineup. So again, trying to stay cool, sitting on the ground. If indeed that works, it may be the most comfortable seat in this situation. I'm very uncomfortable on those cones. For more than a few seconds at least. So Isaac Hughes, under-20 silver medalist a couple of years ago. This is Flair of Germany. His first European Championship of any kind. But Guzman, very, very strong athlete. Fastest time of anyone this year here, 10:15. There's Abel Jordan, the versatile man. Hristo Iliev, one of 2 Bulgarians in these semis, which is fantastic to see. Andrea Bernardi through his pre-race routine. And then looking very cool with the shades is Jene Gumilar of Slovenia. Gabriel Meyer on the outside. Didn't quite live up to his 10:17 personal best billing in the heat. It's the 3rd fastest time of any under-23 this year. Portuguese 200-meter indoor champion. Heiko Guzman ran that 10:15 in Regensburg. A lot of these under-23 athletes were competing on the 14th of June. So he's the top eligible athlete in Europe. Hughes, Freire, Guzman, Jordan, Iliev, Bernardi, Gumilar, and Meyer. Top 3 going through to the final once again. Jordan gets a good start, now head up and driving his way through, but Guzman now starting to emerge. It's very close. Jordan once again across the line, 10:45 into the -1.7 wind. And he's had a busy day, but he's been strong, and he finished well when it mattered, right at the end of that race. Heiko Guzman, though, does still make it through to the final. Fascinating sometimes when we see a result in a semi, and whether it's possible to overturn it sometimes. Obviously, that was a very close margin. I've sometimes seen it, but yeah, Jordan psychologically and on the track getting the advantage.
Carrying great momentum, isn't he, through the day. Coming in full of life into day 1 and booking his place confidently in the final, the men's 100 metres. Spends a fair bit of time head down driving. See the huge smile on his face when he's across the line. Bernardi just getting there for 3rd and final automatic for Elias of France as well. Incredibly fast personal best, quickest in the field, the only man in the field to have run sub-10. Nick, though, in good form, sharing a personal best and season's best with Ekpo. Propotnik going in lane 1. Well, we're expecting Bobo to go in lane 2. It seems, Alex, that we have an empty lane there.
Yeah, real shame, especially for an athlete that's in form and been part of great Irish sprint success recently.
Indeed, part of the national record-breaking 4x100 team in Maribor. And we move over to Emilio Gonzalez-Rudolph. Slaps the badge. He's ready to go. Jeff Elias, keep your eyes on him going in lane 4. Only man in this field under 10 seconds in his lifetime. Gladioli. Sikek Ekpo. To watch in this one in lane 6. Kalamanilov in lane 7. Skandel with Spain going in lane 8. That is your lineup for the second semi-final. First 3 automatically qualifying. The target time, as Alex rightly said, 10:54. They want to run quicker than that. Final words of inspiration to himself, Nikola Kalamanilov. Complete silence around the stadium. Balapotnik in 1. Gonzalez-Rudolph in 3, Elias in 4, Dadoli in 5, Ekpo 6, Kalamanilov 7. Skandel goes in 8, and it's a quick start from Prapotnik, but the Frenchman is up and into his running. He's matched by Ekpo, and it will be those two who pull away, and it's close on the line. .28 is the time where the clock stopped. Elias taking the first of the qualifying spaces. Well, he was matched stride for stride by Ekpo. 2 2000ths with a second behind Ekpo. And Kalamanilov taking that third qualifying spot.
Wow, that's fascinating and wonderful, first of all, to hear the pitter-patter picked up there by the effects mic there. But these two are in the heat together, and Ekpo beat Arias by 0.04, and this time the result is reversed with Arias on top. So, yeah, just goes to show it is possible to be the other way around when it's just such fine margins. That's really good to see. And Karamanilov as well, the Bulgarian there fighting. And that's fantastic to see him through to the final, because we were waiting, obviously, to see if Iliev would make it. Unfortunately, it appears that he's not. You've got 10:49 Tardioli and Gonzalez Rudolph on 10:51. Looks like they're the ones who make it through the second semi.
Not hardly anything to separate the top two. And reversed the results, as Alex said, from earlier on today.
So we've seen Karolina Manasova crowned the women's 100-meter champion. What about this men's final? Are we going to see a different victor compared to the last few editions in terms of nation that won? Because Great Britain and Sweden winning the last 4 between them. Germany with great opportunities. This is Emilio Gonzalez Rudolph, 10:29. He's improved to in Regensburg this year. Andrea Bernardi, one of those less experienced, also at international level, under-23 silver medalist. But Jeff Arias, age 17, got the under-20 silver 4 years ago in Tallinn. He's blossomed since then, 9.98 at best. Abel Jordan, 4th in the sprint hurdles at the European indoors, concentrating on the 100 sprint here. Ekpo, a relay silver medalist in Rome last year. What a great Dutch quartet, but Heiko Gusman individually, European under-23 leader among those eligible. It's a Russian ahead of him, Nikola Karamanilov of Bulgaria. Great for him to make it through, having represented his country at the European and World Indoors. And then Junior Tardioli, a relay gold medalist 2 years ago. So lots of reasons why athletes might be desperate to make a mark in this final. Those with relay medals, be it at age group or senior level. Those that have made finals, maybe indoors earlier in the season, like Jordan, but have just missed out on a medal. They all want to get on the podium in the 100 meters, such a showpiece event, even though we know there's talent across track and field. Gonzalez, Rudolph, Bernardi, Arias, Jordan, Ekpo, Gusman, Karamanilov, and Tardioli. Now underway, Jordan with his head down, got a good start. Arias trying to pull alongside. Watch out for Ekpo as well. So close here. Arias, is he just going to get there? But only just. 10:28 for the Frenchman. There are screams around the stadium. Those French supporters that we've been talking about, they've been running around wearing their pink and blue shirts, and they're splashing water around over the heads of athletes, all while Arias is calm, and maybe it hasn't quite synced in yet what he's achieved here. Fascinating, because he and Ekpo in the same heat, the same semi-final, and it's been reversed again. Arias in front, then Ekpo, but come the final when it mattered, Arias was in front. Jordan gets a medal. Athlete who's such a great hurdler, who just missed out in Apeldoorn. Very close between all three medalists.
But nothing to separate them, really, is it? 0.03. Just a shove there from Jordan on the back of Ekpo as they come across the line. Well, a real party down in front of us in the stands. They're trying to get Arias to come over and celebrate. The French team, the supporters, all together, like you say, in that pink kit that is their warm-up kit that they're wearing around the stadium. It's a huge victory in terms of what it means for this French team. 0.02 between gold and silver, and 100th of a second then further back to the bronze medalist. They don't come much closer than that. And seeing the celebrations all round, so special.
Well, Ekpo was not far ahead of Arias in the heat, and then come the semi-final, Arias back in front by 0.02, running the exact same time as the semi-final. 10:28 for Arias and Ekpo 10:30 in the semi, and then again in the final. A repeat result there. Jordan, who had been in the other semi, getting the bronze. He won it, in fact, in 10:45. He raised his game come that final. So, to another Frenchman, Ferranti, still with a